As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning, YouTube, coming bedside. I am enjoying this view for the next couple of days, so bear with me, bear with me. I hope you guys are all doing well and having a great Tuesday. I was actually supposed to be at my Board of County Commissioner meetings, but have chosen not to go this morning. I hope all is doing well. And I just want to go through here. I keep wanting to grab that mouse, but it's this mouse. So hopefully, this is not going to be a long live by any stretch of the imagination because I am doing a lot of work behind the scenes, doing some other things, and preparing for a couple trips. So we will see how everything goes. Um, Good morning. Who knows? Bullhorn Betty present. My friend Anissa. I hope you are doing well, my dear. Thin Mint. I love Thin Mints. Oh my goodness. Big Dream. So we're coming here a little late again this morning. I will get my act together eventually. I will get my act together, but I get into all this stuff where I wake up early in the morning, like around 5 a.m., and then I'm on YouTube and going through videos and some reading some articles and stuff like that. And I did find one. Where's my phone? I did find one. I wanted to show you guys this. And it was pretty alarming. We're down the road of, what law enforcement's doing. What are they doing? And at what point did they move this investigation from just a normal missing person investigation over to a homicide investigation? We went over articles from the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. We went over some protocols that were printed out. We've researched articles related to the FBI and how long these missing persons cases start converting over to homicide investigations. It's within 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. If you don't hear or see or have any legitimate leads to the whereabouts of somebody, it does move over from just a standard run-of-the-mill missing person over to a homicide investigation where people are treated more like persons of interest instead of concerned parents, for example. And so I brought that up. Apparently I must have hit a nerve with cracking cases. And I spoke about how I thought they had gotten entirely too close. We've watched them have Candace on. We've heard about Allie, being on the phone with Candace when she's been crying and all this stuff. Like they got entirely too close to this case. They lost all objective views. And I publicly stated that was my opinion. And so it appears that it must have upset them quite a bit because the last few, like they did a whole recording and all this other stuff. And now they're making posts and tagging me in it. And so obviously I hit a nerve. They disagree with my opinion of the situation. However, it's my opinion to have. And quite frankly, at this stage in the game, when you're referring to articles that happened back in 2021, I would say that you're pretty much living in the past because a lot of things have happened since Summer Wells disappeared. A lot. They've been able since then to speak to many people. Law enforcement has been able to speak to Dudley Ajon, his wife. They've been able to speak to Hunter and Allie, although we have not had any notification one way or another whether they spoke to the boys. Duty Ron is a retired law enforcement, and he even as of yesterday stated that he believes at this stage in the game the boys have been spoken with. We saw Don B on here. He called down to the Department of Children's Services in Rogersville, Tennessee, and has confirmed that there is a gag order on everybody related to the boys, including the parents. So there's a gag order. The boys can't talk. Law enforcement can't talk about the boys. The Department of Children's Services can't tell you whether the case is still open or closed because they have a gag order. Don B also acknowledged that the he read the information related to the gag order. I just stuck up a video this morning about the gag order and what it means. It basically means I like Cam and Allie too, but we have opposing views on this particular case. We do get along, and who knows? At the end of the day, having opposing views is not a bad thing. It really isn't. Yes, no profiles. That is what I'm doing. I'm milking this case. I'm milking this case. That's exactly what I'm doing. We're not having a casual conversation about a case that's driving the news reports. I mean, it couldn't be that. I mean, it's got to be I'm milking the case. That's right. I'm making my little $12 by milking this case. Give me a break. Did you not see? I mean, do you not realize how little money we make off these videos? Does that not quantify in your brain? Burnt Toast doesn't own me. I own her. And she's about to wake up and get a taste of sour milk to go with her bread, her sour roasted burnt bread. So have a good day. Have a good day, Mr. No Profile. It's funny. Anyways, so yes, I'm milking this case, getting my $12.98 for this 2-hour segment that I air because I make less than minimum wage when I'm on YouTube. But somehow or another, I'm apparently getting rich quick off this case. It is hilarious to me. And if you guys don't believe me, I believe it was Michelle After Dark that broke everything down for you guys. She, brought up her showed everybody what we make off these videos. I mean, it's really pennies on the dollar. Like, we're not a major news organization making millions of dollars running one case. This entire case, over a 6-month period, I'm lucky if I've made $4,000, and that's with super chats and super stickers. Now you're talking about a 6-month period. Thank God I own my house, right? I do other things. This is not my only primary source of income, but this is what I make a lot of money off of. Yes. For the better part of my income. Right. So thank you for coming by. No profile picture. I'm pretty sure here in the near future, you're probably going to be blocked again. So keep making those accounts. Keep making those accounts. Good morning, coffee clubbers. I am Team Summer. And we are breaking down this case, and people come here to hear about this case. So yes, they do. Yes, they do. But we'll yeah, it's like these people are idiots. So at the end of the day, obviously, I obviously unnerved them a little bit for them to come out, and so I wanted to share this with you guys, if I can. So this is Cracking Cases. Bullhorn Betty, here is your proof from Sheriff Lawson's own words about persons of interest, right? Now I opened this thing and I'm like, okay, let me see what he has to say. And the first thing I noticed about this article is it's from July 2021. No person of interest has been identified.
At the same time.
The kids can even binge all.
No person of interest has been identified back in 2021, July 2021. That's where he's getting his information less than a month after she disappeared. I would have to say a lot has happened in a month after she disappeared. We all acknowledge law enforcement's not telling us information because they have to, they have to worry about the integrity of the case. But we can definitely look at signals. We can definitely see what they're really saying, right? We just did that when we realized very quickly, it took us a long time because we didn't want to open our ears, that they don't believe Summer Wells is coming back. And then I go on here, I'm reading stuff last night. And so I wanted to bring this up to you guys. Hold on, let me get to my photos. And it again, that's not it. There it is. Neither the search nor the investigation has resulted in information leading to Summer's recovery. We talk about the recovery. Recovery is not associated with somebody that is living. We hear it all the time in the news. We hear it all the time in the news. Hi, Andrew. Hope you're doing well this morning. Hope you're doing well. So, by way of referring to an old article to support your stance is, to me, living in the past. Clearly, you're not following the case if you're relying on a July 2021 article to support your claim that the parents aren't primary persons of interest. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about it. At this point now, this is past July 2021. We're almost to July 2022. They have now spoken to all the people in and around the wells. They've now most likely spoken with the boys, even though we don't know about it because of this gag order. But at this stage in the investigation, you would expect the children that lived in that home to have been interviewed by not only FBI, TBI, but Hawkins County. You've got the Wells stories, and I say that plural, stories, because we watched just in one interview alone in 2 different locations on the same day, Candace state several different things. I mean, even related to the milk. Right? And then, I'm talking with a friend about this case last night and discussing, this entire, and I missed it because we're going back and reviewing all this stuff. Remember when Hunter said that they had to move the rubber tote from inside the truck and put it in the truck bed? Well, Chris McDonough asked her about that tote. And she said, oh, it's in Mom's truck. Remember, Mom's truck wasn't there. Nobody was there. She was the only one there. Everybody knew Chris McDonough was going, and they got the heck out of Dodge. Right? And so he asked her about this tote. You know what she told him in the interview? Oh, it's got crafts and stuff in it. Does Don, Candace, or Grandis look like the craft type of people to have an entire tote full of crafts? Especially when they said Summer went down to play with her toys. My question when I looked in that room is, what flipping toys? She had nothing. She had nothing real to play with except little tiny toys this big. Nothing. People are discrediting and actually enabling and sticking up for the Wells in the way they live. That house was disgusting. And I've met some people that have hoarded. I have nothing wrong with hoarders. I've got nothing wrong. Just don't have children in that. It's bad for their health. It's bad for their growth. It's neglect. It's endangerment. And then Don B did a little, and I wanted to thank Don B publicly. You did, that was very good. It was very informative. The gag order. He calls up to DCS and asks them about the case. And they tell him that they can't give him any information, whether it's closed or open, because it's under gag order. And so I looked up, just like Don B did, looked up when does a gag order go away? I still have it in my search. Oh, let me find it. When does a gag order go away? And so it says right here, typically a gag order extends until the trial process concludes. Given that the main reason for issuing such an order is ensuring a fair trial A fair trial, folks. It's usually removed after the case ends. If a gag order restricts you or someone you know, you can speak as soon as the trial ends. So, what is this going on? Do you or others ask permission for the wells? I don't need to. I'm my own woman. I'm not purchasing shirts for everybody there. I can't afford it because I don't make shit on here. If you don't like it, don't buy one. You are an adult. You make your own decisions. I can guarantee you, no profile, you are not a subscriber to this channel. You do not support anything that we do. Why do we care about your opinion? Why would you think anybody in here gives a damn about your opinion? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They don't. I'm sorry. I hate to hurt your feelings. You're not a subscriber here. You don't support this channel by any stretch of the imagination. You never have and never will. So nobody cares about your opinion. And I'm not going to ask anybody anything. I do what the hell I want to do when I want to do it, just like you do. Just like your twisted, sick mind that thinks you can come in here and hijack my channel. Right? Did you ask me permission to come in here and do this? No, you didn't. So who cares? Who cares? Bug off. Bug off. You have no gag order? Does Hunter? Because I know a lot of people have been asking about that. I'm not going to go into that on this channel because you know I respect Allie. I respect you too. Some people are wanting to know where you been, kid. Where you been? Got a new channel and been working. Okay, let me drop you a link if you want to come up. I'm just chilling, having a conversation. If you want to come up, Andrew, come on up. Did I do that right? Hold on, I think I might have accidentally hit something. No, that's the right link. Okay. Let's see here. Good morning. Good morning, Susan. Nice to see you. And Tammy T. I am Team Summer. Nice to see you. Karen, I guess you're in here. We got Andrew and Sonia. She has nothing to do with the shirts. Yeah, I've got nothing to do with them. But I'm definitely going to let people know because, you know, how else are people going to get something unless they don't know about it? And the last time I recall, this is America. You know, people are allowed to make a profit, even if, I mean, they told me they weren't. I believe them. And just because you can buy a shirt someplace else doesn't mean you can't buy it one at a time. So they put it up just like we have our Teespring. People want to go there and purchase, they can. And anybody that has that, oh Lord, you know, I guess we burnt toast, right? We got her stalkers in here because we found out who she was. We found out who she was and where she lives. She's no longer anonymous. We're going to do a segment on that as well. Yeah, we are. So it's kind of funny. I don't recall strangling anybody, but apparently blank screen. I bet you that is, what's that guy with a tight shirt on that likes to beat his disabled child? What's his name? He likes beating kids, but he acts like he's advocating for children. Can't remember what his name is. So, oh yeah, those are coming out. Don't worry. We've got everything. Oh, is it Baby Gap? Yeah, Baby Gap. Yeah. So we were in her channel last night. Protect your neck, dude. I think you need to protect your own neck. Don't strangle yourself with those shirts. You went into your ex-girlfriend's closet and got a shirt and decided, this looks good. Maybe I should borrow all her shirts. Oh my goodness. You know what they say, and it's so funny because you work so hard on your physique that you're killing the inside of your body with those cigarettes and God knows what else you do, because you ain't right. You just ain't right. I'm a salty grandma today. I'm a salty grandma today. But anyways, it's just odd because these people are still stuck back in July 2021 as proving their statements. This case has evolved a lot since last year. It has evolved a lot. Think about it. We never heard, not one time, about Ronnie Lawson coming out and talking to us about the case because he's kept his lips tight. We hear from like Chris McDonough and Judy Ron that they have to keep this tight-lipped to preserve the integrity of the case. So while we hear detectives come out and say, oh, we're still back at the same place, we know they're not. Because the process of elimination would take them further in the case than what they're telling the public. They're telling the public that to preserve the integrity of the case, and everybody across this YouTube acknowledges that. So this idea that Don and Candace aren't persons of interest, they are. How can you not be? Your child disappeared under your watch. And your entire statement and timeline has more holes than Swiss cheese. It doesn't take a degree or rocket science to acknowledge there's some serious problems with the parents. Only 6% of the YouTube population, I think it was like 6%. Anissa, maybe you can help me. I think it was 6% of the entire YouTube population actually believes these parents are innocent. So that means only 6 people in the world of YouTube has no critical thinking or problem solving abilities. So, if it obviously didn't do good at puzzles, because this is a puzzle. Oh, we hurt Blank Screen's feelings. Oh, you're so sad. You're so sad. It's not going to screw with this, the monetization, Blank Screen, because you come in here all the time and you keep thinking it screws with my monetization. It doesn't. All I do when I leave here is turn this to members only until it's done. And guess what? I still get views. So you're just wasting your time. And you're the person that I talk about that, just isn't right upstairs. It's sad. I do have a psychologist that did me wonders. When I couldn't let things go and I was obsessed, right? I had to go to this doctor, and this doctor helped me. Made me a wonderful person. I mean, I'm happy to email you her information. I'm sure she'll do online, seminar things, meetings. I'm sure she'll talk to you on the phone. There are some things that you can do to help yourself if you so choose. I mean, I'd hate for you to become a strangler. Seems like you're like spiraling out of control a little bit. Just sad. It's sad. I think we go by what Ellie says, not what Bullhorn Betty says. Well, they have said it. They have said it. When Ronnie Lawson came out and said that they are not cooperating and lawyered up, what do you think he was referring to? That they're not persons of interest, that they've been cleared? The first people in an investigation like this, the first people, you can go look in Google. We go over this stuff. The first people that are cleared are the parents. There have been multiple. I mean, think about it. We have, what did they say, like 1,000? I think they said something like 1,000 kids a month are reported missing. About 94% of those missing people are recovered. They're found, they're brought home, or they're recovered. And then there's some that aren't. This is one that falls in the ones that aren't. The ones that aren't, the parents, in all of these, the parents are cleared up front. They're cleared up front so they can move on to other people of interest, other persons of interest. They've been able to move on and clear a lot of other people, but not the parents. And the parents stopped cooperating. The boys are under gag order. These are all things that are signaling. How about the searches in and around the Wells property in March, February and March? Why do you think they would be so close to that home? Don't you find it a little funny that the parents don't even call law enforcement to check on the status of the case? I mean, we've got 138 people here, and I can guarantee even the people that are in here talking this nonsense, even this no profile pic person, would be calling every day. Even though he beats his kid, I guarantee if his kid went missing, he'd be calling law enforcement every day to find out where his child is so he can beat him some more. I'm adding satire, but we don't advocate for any child abuse, period. And actually denounce Baby Gap for what he's done to his own kid. But in the grand scheme of things, everybody in here, every single person in here would be calling religiously to law enforcement to find out the status of the case, what information they've got. They don't care if they have to hear we've got no updated information. They would still be going there, calling and going there every single day. How does it make the people in this chat feel that they haven't been reaching out to law enforcement? We heard it from Grandis's own mouth. From her own mouth. That she hadn't called law enforcement ever, but they know her number. And the last time they spoke with law enforcement was when the YouTubers were down at the bottom of their driveway, i.e. me and our team. When they didn't get the trespassing because we weren't on their property. We never went on their property. I know I didn't. I know JLR didn't. I know Mom didn't. And actually, to be honest with you, I'm not even sure that what MGL did rises to trespassing because she was on the public easement. Exactly. But there's the opposition to us that enable these parents and say, oh, well, because they can't see the forest for the trees. And they are doubling down. Instead of just admitting that they were wrong, they've analyzed this entire case incorrectly. They got too close to the persons of interest. They can't do that. They can't. I've admitted when I've been wrong, right? I was talking to Cam and he was saying how something about shoes and footprints and all this other nonsense. And I was talking about Leslie Earhart responding to JLR's tweet, which he actually captured and kept. I think he showed it up like a week or so ago. But she responded back, and it was about whether or not Summer Wells was seen in the area between 4 and 7 by herself. And Leslie Earhart said, no, that's not true. It's inaccurate. And I thought it was related to the shoes or footprints or whatever, right? And it wasn't. And I came publicly and said I was incorrect. I mixed the two up because I'm thinking of walking. I'm thinking, the feet, whatever. But we did find out the story of the feet. The one print here, the one print there. It wasn't from law enforcement. It was from the neighbor talking about it. Yeah, well, I get you, Andrew, but he's a good guy. He follows the cases where they go. Sometimes people don't like what he has to say, but a lot of people don't like what I have to say. Some people don't like what you have to say. I mean, we've all been attacked on here. He's reporting a case. He's telling a story. That's how it works. That's how it works. What is this? A creator called one of the LE agencies and she told everybody is still a suspect on her channel. It's Squall Tit. She plays the call on her channel. Yeah, the persons of interest. Everybody is a suspect, right? Suspect. I believe that they are saying that because they don't want to call one or two people out. I think that by them saying that actually helps with the integrity of the investigation because nobody knows who they're looking at. But their actions, you got to think what would we do? We talk about this. I just don't like how he showed up to my son's house like that. Actually, to be honest with you, JLR it wasn't just him showing. Unless he did stop by there another time, I'm unsure. But when we talked to Allie, we were all together. So it was me, him, Chronicles of Olivia, and Molly Golightly. And we had a conversation with Allie. Your son wasn't there, though. Your son wasn't there. It was just a conversation with Allie, Sherry. I think the girl's name might have been Les. I don't know who the other girl was. And then great grandma. And we sat there and chatted with them for quite some time. I think it was well over an hour, but it was freezing cold outside. I don't know how you guys can handle that cold, man. My toes, my nose, and my fingertips were numb. But yeah, we were all there. So I hate to say it, you might be a little mad at me too. But that was back in December of last year. That wasn't anything recent. That was December. I want to think the 13th or the 14th of last year is when we were all there. But oh no. Jonathan hasn't been there 10 days ago. He hasn't left the state of Florida. I'm not sure who you are referring to, but no, that wasn't Jonathan. That wasn't Jonathan at all. So yeah, anytime we've been there was December. I stopped back by there when I was going through, what was it, March? I think so, but Allie wasn't there. I wasn't going there to record. I was just going by to talk to her and see how she's doing. But no, he wasn't there 10 days ago. I can guarantee that. That was not him. On Jonathan Lee Rich's aka JLR, if there's any video of going to that house, that was an older event. That's nothing new. That was from December. I know he put and he's posted videos of that encounter, but he's also cut it and done other videos where he's cut it. But no, he has not been there. He lives about, I want to say 2.5 hours from my house, and we don't have contact, all the time, but we have contact regularly. And I can tell you, he hasn't been out of the state of Florida in at least a month. And the last time he went out of the state of Florida, I believe he was in Michigan. So yeah, not on his channel. Maybe another channel, but not on his channel. And if he does have stuff on his channel, it's old. It's older content that he's just putting back out. Oh, okay. Maybe it was Dolly. Maybe that's what you're referring to. I'm sure the cops are all fed up with all the people of interest and they're behaving. Well, to be honest with you, the only out of character behavior that I've seen since the beginning of this case has been bared by Don and Candace Wells and Grandis. I haven't, like even Dudley, he came out to clear his name. Jody Sue's out trying to clear her name. Allie, outside of some stupid, comment that may or may not have been said at some parade. I mean, why would she have anything to do with it is preposterous. But, everybody's names have been thrown out there. But no matter how many more names are thrown out there, they're never going to be able to explain the behavior of the parents, the suspicious behavior. And how can you not give a timeline or an account? And I've got another one out right now. Actually, I might as well go ahead and play it because it is sickening to my stomach. I'll play it. He just wants to get back to normal. Give it a second. It'll come up.
Hi, YouTube. This is Andra, aka Bullhorn Betty. And so, as many of you guys know, I'm reviewing the entire case of Summer Wells. We had some shocking revelations from the June 24th press conference with TBI. Many people didn't like the realization of what we actually heard as opposed to what we thought we heard. Since then, I've taken a deep dive in this entire investigation. I am going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and it brought me to the event where me and our team decided we had had enough. Don had ran us around like chickens with our head cut off, going here, going there, everywhere. He was going to meet with us. He was going to talk to us and kept running us around. So we decided to make an unannounced visit to his job site. Whether people agree with that tactic or not, that is what happened. He went on WJHL for an interview. I want you to listen to this entire clip, and then we're going to break it down.
Several protesters yelled at the parents of Summer Wells as they worked on a home in the Edenburg Park community of Kingsport.
It's scary. It's scary for sure. I mean, Candace was in tears and she was shaking and all that. She's scared.
The group heard yelling profanities at the parents and loudly claiming the parents had something to do with Summer's disappearance.
Let the police do their job. I mean, I feel that they're just making a mockery out of everything for their YouTube channel and personal gain. I don't think they pretend that they're all about Summer and they care about Summer, but I think otherwise.
But Wells says today was not the first time he's seen the protesters. From his front porch this weekend, several hundred feet from the road, he could hear protesters screaming over bullhorns.
The protesters, been coming to our house probably 6 times in total and just making a mockery out of everything.
Are you afraid for your life?
Well, there at first it was very scary. It could be bad. It could be dangerous. It has been. But we just want to get back to normal. And
Wells says the protesters' presence has been taxing.
I remember my stomach being in a knot just constantly, not being able to sleep. And if I did sleep, when I woke up, as soon as I wake up, first thing in my mind is Summer. Where's Summer? And just begging God, just constantly, that was my baby, my little girl. She was always with me.
Wells keeps in contact with investigators, not giving up hope.
I even hear from people time to time where TBI has contacted them because their cell phone happened to ping in the area. So I know that they're still working and they're still looking into things.
Don Wells states Candace was crying. She was not crying, but she definitely was shaking.
Candace was in tears and she was shaking and all that.
It seems like this whole entire skit that he did in front of WJHL was just that, a skit. He was playing a skit in front of the public. This is not the man that lives on top of 110 Ben Hill Road. Furthermore, Why didn't he stop the process right here and show a picture of his daughter and say, my daughter, Summer Wells, 3 foot tall and 40 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. If you guys have seen her, please, reach out to 1-800-TBI-FIND. He didn't do any of that. He was asked about whether he contacted law enforcement, if he's been in contact with law enforcement, and similar to what his mother-in-law says, Grandis, let's listen here.
Wells keeps in contact with investigators, not giving up hope.
I even hear from people time to time where TBIs has contacted them because their cell phone happened to ping in the area. So I know that they're still working and they're still looking into things.
Summer Wells' grandmother, Candace Hare, says she hasn't spoken with law enforcement since December 13th.
They have not contacted me since the YouTubers were down here in the driveway. And we asked them about trespassing.
Poor me, and how vicious and horrible we are as people exercising our First Amendment to the Constitution.
But we just want to get back to normal. 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 We just want to get back to normal.
In accordance with the same exact thing Branda said, they haven't been calling law enforcement. This is not actions of parents that have a missing child. This is actions of people that are criminally responsible for a missing child. And please don't forget, Summer Moon Utah Wells, right here, is a now missing 6-year-old child. She is blonde hair, blue eyes. At the time she went missing on June 15th, 2021, she was 3 foot and 40 pounds. If you have any information to her whereabouts or know what happened to her on June 15th, you are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Thank you and God bless. And Team Summer, we are fighting for you, baby girl. We are fighting for you hard. We want you back safe. Have a great day.
So there you guys go. So there you guys go. There you guys go. Yeah. So we are Team Summer. It's sad because, I keep looking at this, and despite what people say about us, we are the only ones fighting for this child. Think about it. We're the only, who was it? Duty Ron yesterday was like, these are not parents that have, that don't have something to hide or something to that effect. They're not acting proper in a case like this. I mean, this is a retired law enforcement officer. He's saying, I would be on the top of my house with a bullhorn. You know what? The only people fighting for this little girl are all of us. The parents are not. The parents are not. And to Dawn, just to let you know, so I did see your comment up there that you were a little confused. So what happened is Dawn agreed to meet with us. I want to say between a half a dozen times to a dozen times. And he kept standing us up. He kept running us all over Kingsport and Rogersville to meet him here, to meet him there. And we realized he was running us ragged. He was just trying to get us off the scent. He didn't want us searching. He didn't want us looking. He didn't want us talking to anybody. It was point the finger here, point the finger there, point the finger at everywhere else. If you look over there, you're not going to be looking over here type of nonsense. So we showed up at his job. He had told us he was going to talk to us and lied to us, which is not uncommon for Don Wells or Candace. And so we decided to find out where he worked. And we actually did that. There's somebody in here pretending to be me. Go ahead and block them. First of all, harass has a legal defined term. We don't break the law. So you have to be within certain parameters to make sure that you are not considered harassing under the laws of the United States as well as the state of Tennessee. We made sure that we followed the law. So I suggest, like, even they are even saying they're obstructing an investigation. No, we're not. Obstructing an investigation has a legal defined definition. We are not asking people to change their statement. We are not asking people to lie to law enforcement. We're not asking people to destroy or tamper with evidence. So if you guys are going to use legally defined terms, know what you are talking about before you open your mouth, because you look really stupid. It sounds good when it's spit out of your mouth, but when you actually look at the definition, it doesn't make sense. And I'm not talking to the people in here. I'm talking to the haters out there that try to use these big legal words that they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. Somebody in the family knows what's going on. Think about it, people. And I've said this many times before. You know, it's very rare that you have one person missing from your family that has never been found. It is awfully peculiar to have two. It's awfully peculiar to have two. No, they've been speaking. They've been speaking, Salty Grandma. Believe me, law enforcement, that's what upsets me the most right now, is law enforcement has enough information and enough statements to arrest Don and Candace on the child abuse, child neglect, and child endangerment charges. They have enough evidence to successfully prosecute them right now for those charges. They're not. And I don't understand why. With the prosecution of Summer, with its, it's the body in absentia, which basically means there's no body. They're still exhausting all possibilities to try to find her. They have to. These are part of, there are requirements that must be done. Like there are tests, like in for legal sufficiency, when you do stuff, there's tests to make sure that you're following the law to bring this type of case. And so unfortunately, they have to exhaust all possibilities. So every time a new name is brought up, they've got to investigate that new name. At least, if nothing more, they have to do, pull a background, find out if this person, one, exists, two, was in the area at the time and could potentially, because usually they can do a process of elimination and realize this person wasn't even anywhere near it. Therefore, they are automatically eliminated as a possible person of interest without even walking out of the law enforcement's door or even picking up the phone to call the person to check on their whereabouts. So, but no matter how many people are thrown up, it's never going to justify the actions of Don and Candace. It will never. It will never. And I really don't believe that there were that many people that they have not talked about in and around the Wells home. Think about it. There was tree trimmers there. I'm curious as to whether the tree trimmers ever saw Summer exit the vehicle when they got home. They were there. I have a funny feeling that we're going to find out nobody saw Summer that day after they supposedly got back home. That's an assumption. I haven't talked to the tree trimmers. I believe Ziggy may have talked to one or two of them, but I personally have not. So you may want to go to her channel to listen to what that interview stated. But I have a funny feeling nobody saw Summer come home that day. Jonathan, CPS always failed the kids, sadly. Yeah, I agree with that. Andrew, without a doubt, hands down. And I've been pushing a nationwide change because, in my opinion, and I've said this for the people that have been following me for some time, my opinion is the Department of Children and Family Services, or the alphabet soup associated with child welfare organizations across the United States, have it backwards. They are not law enforcement and should not be conducting legal investigations on parents. That is for law enforcement. The way I see things, or the way I think things should be, is that law enforcement gets the initial report. They go out and find out whether there is probable cause for the Department of Children and Family Services to be involved. Or they go out to the house together. Because the only person, I'm telling you, the people that know the laws the best are law enforcement. They should be handling a legal case. They should be doing the investigation. Somebody that has a PhD in social work should not be conducting a legal investigation. Yeah, there's a lot more to this story than meets the eye and that we are told. And that's why it oh Lord have mercy, my rental property. Get a life. Get a life. People. They don't dox. They don't dox. I call BS. They don't dox. So obviously we got under burnt toast skin because we know where she lives. We know who she is. We know who she has kids with. And they're, oh, of course not. Of course not. But I do, in reality, I do believe he has talked. I don't think that your son's gone without speaking to law enforcement. I do believe he's told them everything he can possibly tell them. And from my understanding, law enforcement still has his cell phone. So, it's not that he's been cooperating with this investigation from the beginning. A lot of people have been, cooperating with law enforcement, which I think is what makes everybody a little frustrated that they haven't arrested them for unrelated charges. If you were in Florida, your butt would be in jail. Don and Candace would both be in jail right now. If they were in Georgia, they would both be in jail right now. If they were in Virginia, they would both be in jail right now. That's the reality of it. They would both be in jail. Give me just a second. So for all the, we're going to go with moving this over to a subscriber only mode, 5 hours. So when you guys delete these people out of here, they can't come back. Okay, subscriber only mode is being initiated. There we go. All right, guys. So if you guys are not subscribers only, you will not be able to chat right now. And you're not going to be able to chat right now for 5 hours. So make sure you guys go out there and subscribe to this channel. Once you're blocked, you're blocked. You won't be unblocked for 3 months, but that no profile picture person, I never unblock. I think they're lost all reality. So yes, no problem, Anissa. So at the end of the day, Andrew, if that knocked you out, I'm sorry. That wasn't my that wasn't my intention. It's just that we've got too many trolls in here because we have hurt feelings from a toaster strudel. So yes, thank you. But at the end of the day, I do believe that Hunter has been cooperating. He has cooperated. Things had to go on in this case. It's just right now, right now, I believe if they found her, it's game over for Don and Candace Wells. Game over. Right now, the only thing that's helping them is the fact that they have not found her. Is it going to help them in the long run? It's not. It's not going to help them in the long run because they will, I think, with all the holes in their statements, all their behavioral issues that they have, all the games that they played, the lack of contacting law enforcement, the lack of empathy, the lack of sympathy, the lack of concern, the lack of all these things are going to play a huge role in their criminal case. I do believe there is a criminal case being built right now and has been being built right now against Don Wells and Candace Bly. I also believe there's another case being built against Grandma, Grandis, aka Candy Harrer. I believe that she has been dishonest to law enforcement. I believe she may have lied to the FBI. I do believe that she is going to also be held accountable because she knows more than she stated she knows. She has thrown in a new aspect of it, whereby she went to sleep. She went and took a nap. That had never been brought forward in any of the timelines that Don and Candace brought forward. And if she did tell them up front that she took a nap, she obviously didn't tell or inform Don and Candace when they were preparing the script that everybody needed to stick to. I do believe there is a script that they need to stick to. But the problem is, even the script that they're sticking to, according to Don's own statements on the behavior panel, he acknowledges law enforcement told him he's got to go to the script, or that he needs to go back to the timeline because there's something wrong with the timeline, i.e. the script. So there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And while I understand that Cam and Allie would like to live in the past and would like to, state information from July 2021, I think everybody can agree the case we're looking at today is a totally different case than what was being looked at in July 2021, almost a year ago. So, we have to look at that. They are persons of interest. They have never been cleared. They're not going to be cleared. They will never be cleared of this. They're not. Because not only is there people talking, and some of it has to be, somewhat true. I'm not going to give, 100%. But there have been many people that believe that child has been moved. And not just once, but multiple times. There's a reason why Don and Candace have never coordinated a search party or gone out to search for their daughter, but don't want anybody else to go out searching for her. I'm not sure, but I can guarantee if my granddaughter or daughter disappeared, I would be out looking for her. Give me just a second. Somebody's calling. Sorry about that, guys. I was just working, making sure I got some work going on. Remember, I told you I got a couple of trips getting planned. One's to obviously Rogersville, Tennessee. The other one's, going to Louisiana to do some work out there. And I just needed to make sure. It looks like my stuff just panned out. So I will be leaving here in a couple days. Anyways, getting back to this, but Mike, the reason why I went ahead and put this up here, even when I was on mute, was because even Elizabeth Smart, they thought she was abducted. Somebody knew that she had been taken. There was evidence, if I recall correctly, there was evidence in the case that stated she was abducted. They just didn't know where she was. And if that's the case, that is a lot different than what we're facing here with Summer Wells, where there is no evidence and no possibility of an abduction. There's two abduction theories related to this case, and one is an abduction by a stranger, and one is an abduction by being targeted. That means somebody saw her, they followed her, they monitored all their movements. There's no evidence of either one. There's no evidence of either one. So I did pull that up because I do remember the Elizabeth Smart case. I don't remember, it's going by memory. I don't remember all the details related to that case, but we do, there is that. So there's probably people we don't even know about. Who knows? Absolutely. And, it's kind of crazy because, if we were to believe and trust, what had transpired with H's interview, I do believe that he picked up Candace's phone. And I do believe he saw a text message that said it's done or something to that effect. And he said it was of the, a drug peddler in that area. And the only one that I'm aware of that kind of meets all the descriptions that he stated was Andy Bernard. Could Andy Bernard be an accessory after the fact? Who knows? It could have been something as simple as him telling her that, he stuck, the pills or whatever in her mailbox. It's done. They're there. They're waiting for you. We don't know. We don't know. So it's a lot of peculiar stuff that goes on with this case. But the idea that the parents aren't primary persons of interest is ludicrous. Anybody that has been investigating cases know they are the first people that need to be ruled out when a child is missing. So, Well, Louisiana proud, yeah. I cannot disclose that at this moment, but I will be doing some work in the area of Louisiana. And as a matter of fact, I need to start getting packed, folks. I need to start getting packed. There's a story about Steve Stainer on Honolulu called Captive Audience. What a story. He's gone 7 years and returned and saved another little boy. Don't give up hope. There's a chance she's alive. Oh, there's a chance she's alive. And I just believe that at this point, if in my opinion, little Dave, if she was abducted, then yes, and they hadn't found her, there would be a chance that she's alive. But the problem here is that 9 days after she went missing, we heard that press conference. We took a deep dive in what they were saying. It doesn't appear that they believe she was going to be found alive. They've removed any possibility of it being an abduction theory. That leaves two other options. If the abduction theory is removed, then that leaves her wandering off and foul play. No matter how you look at the other two options, they're grave because it's been a year. If she wandered off, it's grave after a year. If she met with foul play, it's grave. So, that's the issues that I have there. I mean, with all the dogs and law enforcement and everything there at the property, I can guarantee you the way your house sits, there is no, and in the dirt road, and the creek, and the mud, And there's no way that they would not be able to find evidence of an abduction. There's just not. If there was an abduction, they would have found something leaning to that. Even in the John Benet Ramsey case, they had some evidence with the box set up by the window being, it looking like somebody had entered the house. There was evidence there of that theory. This lacks any evidence. It lacks any evidence of that theory. So that's kind of where we are, it's sad. Oh, we love good news. National Honor Society, and she'll be voted prom queen. Great. That is a wonderful thing to hear. And yes, we definitely could listen to that and hear that because it does lighten the mood just a little bit here. We are very proud for you. You are part of the family. I am Team Summer, and any good news for you and your family is good news for all of our family. So absolutely, congratulations. And that's hard. National Honor Society is not easy. It's not easy. No, Don. But see, the sheriff, Ronnie Lawson, has came out and said the scream, and we even have the text messages of Jody Sue, what really happened. And it wasn't a scream she heard. It was actually a noise that woke her up out of a sleep. She didn't know what it was. It wasn't until November that she started saying it was a scream. 5 months later, Ronnie Lawson came out and specifically stated there is no, the scream has whatever she heard, because he probably saw her text messages and realized she never heard a scream. It was just a noise that woke her up, and it metamorphosed itself into this animalistic scream 5 months later when it wasn't. So the scream, let's talk about the car door slam. There's no evidence. This is stuff Ronnie Lawson has already addressed publicly in public statements. He actually came out and said it. I believe it's on one of my, isn't it on one of my, I think I did the video on the scream, because I showed Jody Sue's text messages that she was, the conversation she was having with Andy Bernard. And it clearly states that she was just woken up. It was at 2:14 or 2:38 in the afternoon, not at 5:30. A noise woke her up from her sleep, and she didn't know what it was. 5 months later, it went from just a noise to an animalistic scream. That's the problem I have with that statement. Ronnie Lawson publicly came out, and he was on WJHL and said there's nothing related to that scream. It's insignificant to the case. It had nothing to do with the case. The car door slam, again, there was no car door to slam unless it was the Wells, because from Don and Candace's own statement, nobody can go up their driveway without them seeing it. They had 21 dogs on there. Their law enforcement has never acknowledged a car being on their property or a door slamming. The footprints came from a neighbor. Law enforcement never even addressed the footprints. So while if those things were true, yes, they would all be evidence. But from what law enforcement addressed way back when, these things have no relevance to the case. And no, they don't tell her that her and her kids didn't hear a scream. Jody Sue says her and her kids, because she text messaged on June 15th. She was having a conversation with Andrew Bernard, her ex. He was coming to pick her up. On June 15th at 2:30 from her own text message, she was awoken by a noise. So no, they did not hear a scream. She heard a noise that woke her up. They weren't tentatively listening for people to pull up because of property line issues. She was asleep in bed. Yeah, they can see, and Don even acknowledges that. They can see on the Dr. Phil show, he acknowledges that there's only a small little uh what is it? Blind spot from Grandis's and their doors. There's only one little tiny blind spot there. But coming up that road, I mean, she has a bird's eye view of Beach Creek. She has a bird's eye view of Ben Hill Road. And then everybody has a bird's eye view of the driveway coming up. There's only one small little area there that is a blind spot. Good question, Lips. Who would have had access or motive to erase? First of all, I'm curious if she even had them and here's why. Because Jody Sue has a way of lying about a lot of stuff, right? And the issue here is Jody Sue. Jonathan was up in the area. I want to say he went back. Maybe he was the one in March. I was the one that went in April. That's right. Okay, so my visit was April. His was March. And he went and did the skit of him driving in the night, where he turned off the lights and it was all pitch black there. Jody Sue tried to say that she had him and 3 other people. Basically, they thought we had the team and we went up there as the team versus Jonathan going up there by himself. And he did that back road by himself. And she went on to say that she had him and 3 other people on her cameras. There's no way. I think she's lying about those cameras. I'd like to see her post a video. Instead of her talking about these videos that she has, I'd like to see her post one, because I have a funny feeling we're going to find out she has no cameras out there. So, I mean, it's just a thought. It's just a thought. Yeah, I don't think that's true either, because if you recall, they didn't have cameras until Benny Keys took cameras out there for them. And that was, when was that, guys? Was that back in January or February? I don't, oh, no. There's nothing to be sorry about. We're just having a conversation, honey. But, yeah, I'm curious to see those. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. But I just have a funny feeling that they didn't have any cameras up and that were working, because Benny went and installed some cameras for them. And so if they didn't have the cameras, then they wouldn't have cameras on each other's house. And not only that, we keep hearing about Jody Sue and all these cameras and how she's going to turn that over to police and do this and do that. But for me, if I saw somebody at my house on camera, I'd be posting. If I have video cameras out there and somebody was coming here, I'd be posting it up. I wouldn't be talking about it. I'd turn it over to law enforcement and I'd post it. But we've heard her talk about all these cameras, but we've never seen her post one image of these cameras she says she has. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm curious about Tucker, because we need to find out, at what time did Don leave that day. I have a funny feeling he didn't go pulling into his driveway at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night, because every bit of information we have from people that worked with him is he left work between 3 and 3:30 and got home between 4 and 4:30, depending on where his job site was. So that would be meaning that he would have been home. And not only that, we have conflicting statements with the boys as well. One person says, Hunter says, that Candace told him the boys went to work with their father, which would explain why they weren't with her and why they didn't go to the water hole with them. But when she got home, the boys were there, and she stated that they never went to work with their father. So, and Don and Hunter also stated that, Don called Candace saying that there was a guy messing with the boys. So how would he know that if he wasn't home? So I have a lot of conflicting statements about that. Don was at work all day. I'm curious because we talked to his coworkers when we were out there and nobody could confirm that he was there all day. That day that we got him fired from that one job and got him kicked off the job. We were out there. If you look at that video, you can see we were out there talking with two people. Let me see if I can pull that up. And these two people, hold on a second, are his coworkers. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay. So these people right here, those are his coworkers right there. They're brother and sister. And they do the same thing that he does right there. We were out there talking to him. There's JLR. Oh, excuse me. This and this are brother and sisters. This is JLR. So sis is coming over there to talk to him. And this is sister. This is brother. This is JLR. These two people, we asked them. So, and Don told us that they were two of his 7 alibis. And they couldn't confirm one way or the other. So, you know, that's where, yeah. Yeah, no, Jody Sue, I don't believe had anything to do with it. And everything that we found out while we were out there, there's no motive for her having anything to do with Summer's disappearance. Literally none. She has no motive, means, or opportunity. She just doesn't. And it doesn't explain. Yes, I have the same question about where the boys were. Yeah. Well, they were there because we have Dudley. I mean, they were clearly there because he was smoking marijuana with his son on the job. So, and they also had the kids over there running all over the house. So, yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's just a lot of holes in that because while they're not supposed to be there, they were there, and Don works for himself. He's a subcontractor as opposed to being an employee. So, you know, yeah, there's a ton of we met quite a few of them. We have the recordings. Actually, I'll look for the recordings and show you how many people were right there in the 2 houses. There are quite a few, but we're looking for the people that were near and around him at the time. We're not going to have 100 people in 2 houses. We're going to have something like 7 or 8 people within the 2 houses. So, yeah. Nah, I don't think the land is motive. Jody Sue had her own, you know, Andrew Bernard's mom owns the piece of property she was on. She didn't own it. And Don and Candace own their property. There's no, I mean, land equals motive. How? She didn't have money to purchase a land. Nobody's going to give somebody something for free. There's still no motive. That's not motive, in my opinion. And if it was, it had been motive to, you know, have a fight with mom and dad, not hurt a child. I mean, Jody Sue, I'm sorry. I just don't, I can't make that leap. And you know what? Even if it was Jody Sue, explain how the parents, Don and Candace, their behavior is that of somebody that is more responsible than not responsible. So no matter how many people we throw into the mix as being responsible for this young child's disappearance, it always goes back to the parents' behavior. Why are the parents acting this way? They're not acting like normal people missing a child. Think about that. They are not doing anything to look for their missing child. Why? Because they know it's fruitless. They know where she is and they know she's not coming home. Those are the theories that I can come up with. That's my opinion of what happened. Do I know specifically whether it was heat exhaustion or whether she had a dry drowning? No, I don't. But we do know that both of those options are on the table because it was very hot out there and this child was in a jogging outfit with rolled up windows in a hot truck on a hot day in Tennessee. We also heard from Hunter that, even though he believes that she was fine, he did have to go pull her out of the water. Did she make it home? Or did Candace do something with her after she dropped Hunter off? We don't know. We don't know. But I still, no matter how many people we introduce into this case as being a possible person of interest, it doesn't explain their behavior. It doesn't explain the lack of them wanting to do something to find their daughter. It doesn't explain why they are lawyering up and not cooperating. It doesn't explain any of that. I don't know whether you, Lips, are a mom or, if you have children or anything like that. Don't disclose that on here or anything, but I don't know. But if you have children or grandchildren, would your behavior be the same as theirs? No emotion. They're doing nothing. They've done nothing since their child has went missing to help locate their children. Candace, they play this, they have this facade, all different ages, even a baby. Yeah. Think about if one of them, you put yourself in a parent's shoes, how would you act? I'm telling you, you wouldn't act the way they are acting. You would not be acting the way that they're acting. You would be beating the pavement. You would be finding out, who did what. You'd be going beating on all your enemies' doors and saying, were you in and around my house? They've done nothing. You know what Don stated he did? Went and bought $2,000 worth of drugs and handed it out to all the drug addicts in the area. That's what he said he did. Does that sound normal to you? Yeah, we all have. No doubt about that. We all have. Summer has stolen our hearts. She has stolen our hearts. And we want to find her. I want her to be returned safely, but I'm also a realist. And it's like, when you read this stuff and you look into this stuff, you realize that, after the 72-hour mark, the chances of it happening are like 1%, 1 to 5% of her returning safely. It's staggering numbers. So after this point, a year later, hope fades a little bit. We want to be hopeful. We want to be optimistic, but we also have to look at the real picture here and not be in denial as well. And I feel that a lot of people, out there, and it's not my job to shake them out of denial, but I truly believe that there is a denial aspect of this case where we're hoping so much that she's out there and she's going to be found, like, say, Elizabeth Smart. But just because it happened in that rare case does not mean, there's a reason why we have statistics and people rely so heavily on statistics. And statistically speaking, this is not good. It's not going to end well. And I can tell you, no matter how much you prepare yourself for it not to end well, it never prepares you enough for when you finally come to the realization that it's not ending well. And I can tell you that me personally, I have had funky days. I have been depressed over this case. I have, tried to find out where she could be. But I also knew in the back of my mind, when we got into this case, we were going out there for the first time in December. I already knew in the back of my mind that this was going to be grave for Summer Wells. Whatever happened to her was grave. It wasn't, I listened to law enforcement. I've listened to law enforcement many times. Many of you guys know, if you've watched me for a long time, I do a lot of stuff here in Manatee County. And one of those things was, speaking to my county sheriff, Rick Wells, about at-risk youth. Actually, me and another activist here in this county met with him one-on-one in his office to talk about at-risk youth. And the bottom line is these types of cases are not good. You know, when law enforcement comes out and says that there's no evidence of an abduction, no matter how they put it, you know, delicately that they put it, that means there's no evidence of an abduction. There's no abduction. There's no abduction. So I know people like to hang up on words and, you know, make something more than what it is. But if you take out the abduction theory, what do we have left? We have two options: foul play and she wandered off. Both of those options are grave. So anyways, guys, I love you. I think you guys are beautiful people. This is a great discussion. I wish I had more time to spend with each one of you. Let's pick this up tomorrow. Lips, why don't you come back? I'd like to bring you on panel, and if you're available tomorrow. And I'd just like to hear your side. I mean, obviously, you know, we agree on a couple things. We disagree on other things. It'll make for a great conversation. I think this will, you know, be eye-opening for a lot of people, and would love to, you know, love to see you here. So hopefully, you know, you'll come back tomorrow. We'll have more of this discussion, and we'll start our discussion sooner than later, so we have plenty of time to talk. And I know people are going to have questions, you know, and I'd like others. So if you guys out there in this channel, if you guys want to, you know, have your opinion heard, you know, get your thoughts together, go do some Google searches, and let's have a nice, good roundtable discussion tomorrow on panel. And just, you know, throw stuff and see what sticks. At this point, what else do we have to do? You know, I'm pretty set in what I think. You know, I change my mind. I'm open. I'm open. You know, at the end of the day, we want to get to the bottom of what happened to her. And law enforcement wants to get to the bottom of what happened to her. The world wants to get to the bottom of what happened to her. So let's do that. So I hope, Lips, you'll take my invitation. I'm not sure when I'll go live. It's been kind of hit and miss here lately. That's whenever I get my research done in the morning, and I can go live. So with that being said, guys, I love you. God bless, and go out and be fearless, folks.